Welcome to the school committee meeting of Monday, August 26th, 2019. That it goes out to my daughter Erin, who we practiced at home, and I still messed it up, Erin. Okay. We'll start off the meeting with the acceptance of the minutes from the school committee meeting of June 24th.
Motion to accept the minutes as written.
Second.
All those in favor?
Okay.
I see nothing under communications, and I'll pass it to Dr. Cron with the superintendent's report.
Thank you very much. I just want to report on opening today. Opening was outstanding, and I know that everyone expects the superintendent to say how outstanding opening went, but it truly was an outstanding opening. I went around and visited each school. The smiling faces were not only the children, but the teachers and the staff. The buildings look great. The end of the day, checking in with everyone, I can report the same. I'd like to thank our principals and our Director of Pupil Personnel, Linda Maniglia, for doing such an outstanding job hiring and preparing everything for the beginning of school, because days like today do not just happen by accident. I'd also like to thank Patty Penny, Linda Ricciarelli, and Deb Rossetier, who worked very hard to coordinate our buses and our special education vans. That's also a big part of making day one very smooth, is picking people up on time and getting them to school. That was phenomenal today, so thank you. I want to remind folks out there in TV land, if you're waiting for a bus pass, please be patient. It takes a little while for us to get things settled on the first day, but I know Mrs. Penny is working hard at that. And also, finally, thank you to parents for preparing your students. They were very excited to return to school today, and that doesn't happen without help from home, so thank you for that. Some more thanks to pass around. I'd like to thank T.R. Reski Landscaping for doing such a great job on the high school and middle school beds. I don't know if you noticed the flowers that were planted out there, but that is all courtesy of T.R. Reski Landscaping. I'd also like to thank EMD Serono for donating to Memorial Park School. They donated mulch. They painted playground, playground blacktop with games for the kids. They stained benches and tables, and they created 2 sensory paths for kids in the hallways at Memorial Park. So thank you to EMD Serono. I'd also like to thank Representative David DeCoste. He donated $150 to our Rockland Elementary PACs, and that is very much appreciated. I'd also like to thank Office Max in Hanover, who donated a large amount of school supplies to the Jefferson School, so we want to say thank you to them. And finally, I'd like to thank Fred Brown, who is a retired physical education teacher from the Eston School, who donates to the Eston School every year. He gives of his own money, and he gave $1,000 to them last year. And the only thing he asks is that it be used for staff needs. So I want to thank him for that. And did you want to add something?
I would.
Yes, please.
Ready.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I just, on a less thankful note, mosquitoes. And I've been working with the health department, with Ms. Flip today, over at Town Hall, and we're in the process of working once again with the Plymouth County mosquito control facility, and we're hopeful to be able to spray on Wednesday evening. It may be Thursday evening. We haven't heard back, but we have all our requests, all our paperwork, and the town recommends that we do so. And so we are doing so, and we're including the rail trail in our request as well, because it abuts several neighborhoods. So we're hopeful that that will be done Wednesday or Thursday. All the required notifications will be on the website for anyone who has any concerns or would like some tips on closing windows, that type of thing for it. But it'll be after all activities, school activities are over for the day. And if anyone wants any more information, it should be up on the website by tomorrow night if it will be Wednesday, or Wednesday night if the spraying will be Thursday evening.
Okay, thanks, Jane. Thank you.
Okay. And I'd like to conclude the superintendent's report by reporting that the elementary school building project PAC officially kicked off the organization last Thursday night at Players. I want to thank Jackie Berardi, the owner of Players, for her support. There were many, many businesses who donated to support the PAC. We want to thank them, but the attendance at Thursday night's kickoff was phenomenal. So I want to say a special thank you to Danielle and Dan Biggins for leading this organization. And we're just very excited to see this get started, and the turnout. We were all very, very enthusiastic. And with that, I would like to show for the first time or second time in public a little promotional video that we put together last year on the building project, and we'd like to share that. I'd like to share that with the school committee and with the public. In 2011 and 2012, the Rockland Public Schools opened state-of-the-art middle and high schools, providing Rockland young people with exceptional facilities for the second half of their public school educations. Now is the time to complete the transformation of the Rockland Public Schools by building a new elementary school. The Jefferson and Memorial Park schools have housed generations of Rockland students, but both have more than outlived their effectiveness, and both need to be replaced. The Jefferson School was built in 1923. That's the year the original Yankee Stadium opened. Jefferson underwent renovations and additions in 1953 and again in 1973. Memorial Park opened in 1953, and additions were built in 1961 and 1973. Both schools reflect designs and layouts that are more than 45 years old. Much has changed in terms of facility design and educational philosophy in those 45 years. Neither building is capable of meeting the needs of 21st century students. But the problems go much deeper than the buildings being outdated. Both schools suffer from considerable deterioration and are no longer cost-effective to maintain. Both buildings suffer from leaks, which can lead to mold growth. Neither facility has a modern climate control system. Classrooms can be too hot in the late spring and early fall, and too cold during the winter. Even on nice days, windows are difficult or impossible to open. Both buildings suffer heating system breakdowns, which are both difficult and costly to repair. Think back to what elementary school was like when you were a student. Now picture a modern classroom. New classrooms require substantially upgraded electrical and technological infrastructures. Dependable power supplies and network connections are absolutely essential to a modern school. Also important are flexible classroom spaces, spaces designed for discrete and confidential meetings, and sufficient storage. It doesn't take long to see that the time has come for Rockland to continue its investment in the future by moving ahead with a new elementary school. Thanks to our success with the new middle and high school construction project, the town is in a position to have the state participate in more than 60% of the cost of a new school. If we delay now, that figure would almost undoubtedly change, costing future taxpayers more money. The town of Rockland and the Rockland School Department have come a long way in the past several years. MCAS and SAT test scores are up, as are property values. Those things happen because the town has shown its commitment to future generations. Rockland is on the move, and the next step is the building of a new elementary school. Invest in Rockland by investing in our youth. Support the new school.
Good. Excellent. I like that.
Thank you. Just wanted to share that with the public, and with the committee.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If I may on that. It's very telling. I spend my days going in and out of buildings and houses that are having issues, water leaks, fires, collapses, whatever. And, I look at what I see in Jefferson and Memorial Park, and I see a lot of that in some of my buildings. And I don't think people understand just how bad those two buildings are in terms of what needs to be done to fix them, what needs to be done to bring things up to code. I mean, like you said, Jefferson, it's almost 100 years old. You know what it would be to bring that up to electrical code if we wanted to bring in some more infrastructure, some more networking to make it a modern building? It would probably cost a building that size, that outdated, it would probably cost us $300,000. Now you flap it to Memorial Park, same situation. Now you start adding the boilers, the hot water heaters to that. Before you know it, we're well over millions of dollars for updates to these buildings that aren't functional. So I think what's important is that the people in the town need to understand. We're not saying, hey, we should get a new school because we want a new school. It's, hey, we need a new school. It's not, it's just not feasible to keep these two buildings open anymore. Like, it's getting that bad. So, and I think the video did a great job of highlighting some of those areas, so.
Thanks.
Good job.
I think it goes to thanking the custodial and maintenance staff for the upkeep of it every day.
Oh,
to
I don't know how they
making
keep
sure the
it
kids are safe and
that well.
warm and cool and
Yeah.
whatnot. It needs to be every day. So we appreciate them and all their hard work.
I call it like putting lipstick on a pig.
Yeah, it's still a pig.
It's still a pig, and no matter what you do, you go in there and you look at it quickly, they do a phenomenal job. Everything shines.
Right.
Except the rust and the crud that it can't really be dealt with. It's just there. You plaster everything, and some of the insulation of the pipes, I question. I suppose they're all right, but I question it. And it's needed. It truly is
It is.
needed. And I'm hoping that the public will take time to go look at these buildings.
Right.
Go in, walk through, see what they think. I think it's important.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've been involved with the middle school and the high school building, and and when we're getting this here. I remember taking people around and said, "Why do we need a new building?" Well, let me show you. Go downstairs in the old middle school, and there's 9 sump pumps working full blow, trying to pump water out of there. Take a look at the rafters in the gym that time, and they were all rusted because it used to flood and stuff like that. And that's just, I mean, if you really look at that, that's cosmetic stuff. But but you get the infrastructure, and it does, windows that don't that whistle for you.
Yeah.
So and it's time, over 100 years old on these buildings.
Right.
We have an opportunity
Yeah,
now.
and in the state wants, that's the other thing, the state wants to give us some money. You gotta take
State
that.
wants to give you better jump on it.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's what we
It's
did.
as if it's on sale.
And that's what we were. That's what the opportunity we had. That's
We
the
have a coupon.
opportunity. That's the opportunity we had when we did these buildings.
Absolutely.
Right.
We got a fair amount of money from the state, and they came in and they said this is what we need to do, and we did it. There's some things that we didn't like what they said they do, but that's okay. You pay a fair amount of it. They paid over almost 65%. 64% or something in that range. And if they have the money available, we as taxpayers already contributed to that money.
Right.
Okay, let's take some of it back and do the stuff that we need to get done. And and that sets it up for the next generation.
And
Yeah.
just to circle back, Tom, you're talking about the rust being cosmetic, but when you see rust,
Oh, yeah, no.
the presence of corrosion
Yeah, that means
and
it's-
means there's a high presence of moisture.
Right.
I
Oh.
can tell you, moisture is the worst possible
Right.
thing for a building. It's gonna
Yeah.
lead to mold growth,
Yeah,
like
we-
you said.
yeah.
It's gonna lead to rot. It's gonna lead to deterioration, and we're gonna have bigger issues. So,
But what my whole statement was, I know what rust does and stuff like that. But the thing was actually seeing, 3 feet of water in the
Yeah.
gymnasium.
Yep.
Right.
Okay, and seeing some pumps, going, and there was a river that we were pumping into. And just seeing that, and the safety factor of that, and the health risk and stuff like that. So we really need to, we need to, educate and I have a little story a little later, and that we'll add on to this.
Okay.
Okay.
And I will be offering tours of both buildings in most likely October and November, so that folks in the public who want to get a firsthand look at Memorial Park and Jefferson School have an opportunity. So we'll do, so they say one on a Saturday and then one maybe on a weekday evening, so that everyone has an opportunity who wants to come.
Right. And I don't think it's just about the schools and the children as much as it's about the town. Rockland is the little town that could, and I think the high school and middle school proves that we can.
Yep.
And I think people come to towns for school systems, and I think if we have this strong school system, which you said is thriving, it's just the building that isn't. And I think it brings up your real estate, which brings up other things, which then Rockland will get in other ways. And I just think it's not, we would love to say here, sitting at the school committee, it's just about the school and it's just about the kids, but it's not, it's a bigger picture.
about the whole
Even for those
community.
people that don't have their have children in the school, like you have your grandchildren, but not your specific children, and
Yeah.
you as well, it still brings it all back
Right.
as a town
And
together.
you see it, you see it, I get calls all the time, people want to say, hey, you thinking of selling your house? No, not really, but, you know, and there is that.
They're coming,
They're
right,
coming.
they're
And you
coming.
see the pricing, you know. and
Prices are going up.
Prices
Right.
are going up, and I have a neighbor 2 doors down, and, you know, he's had an open house, and there's like 25 people over there this
Right,
weekend, you know.
right.
You know, so they're knocking on my door saying, hey, you know, no, I said, no. Go away, go away.
We've come a long
Yeah.
way
Yeah, we have.
in the last, 30-plus years.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
talking
20
with
years,
Mr.
yeah.
Mullen at the event about how back in 91, 92, they closed Jefferson, slammed everybody into 2 schools.
Mm-hmm.
Then they opened McKinley as a magnet school with only like 1 or 2 classes per grade.
Mm-hmm.
Then we were up into the high school, and they had an override failure. People lost jobs.
Mm-hmm.
We were in danger of losing accreditation. You look back then,
Yep.
and you look to where we are now.
I remember those.
I
remember
lived
that.
it.
I was
Donna,
graduating.
Jason lived it with me.
Right.
It's huge.
Right, that's what I'm saying, it's,
Yeah.
look where we are
It's got
now,
it back.
to where,
It's-
you know.
I think, and again, like I said, I get the little story, is that people need to see it.
Yeah.
And if they want to see it, come on down.
Absolutely.
Raise your
Absolutely.
hand, write the note, email us. It's easy now. Email us,
Right.
and we'll make sure you have a, Class A tour
Yeah.
of a Class D
Right.
building.
Yeah.
Come to the basement at MP.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we'll start in the basement and we'll,
Right.
we'll go right
Always
down the
start in the
ramp
basement.
first.
then
And I
you
know
don't
our,
have to go fast.
the chairman of the building project, Rich Penny, has said numerous times, that he's available to answer questions. Please, I'm available
Yep.
at any time to answer questions. So please feel free to reach out if you're out there and you have questions or want to see the building, just let me know and I'll walk you through it.
Right,
Okay.
I agree, I would say the same as well. And I think that's why I mess up how I say school committee meeting, because I'm on the building committee and the school committee, and I mess them up every time.
Just change the words to Monday meeting.
I
Thursday
know,
meeting.
seriously, we need to make it more simple for me.
All right.
Anyways, everyone good? I
Yeah.
don't want to move on if we're
Yep.
not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let's start next with reports. We have monthly reports for the month of June, the administrator's report, the guidance, the nurse, and the pupil personnel services. We have 4 motions.
I have a
Sure.
question. Is that part of, I don't see it here, though, part of the administrative reports, the revolving account?
No, it's next.
Oh, it's the
That's next.
financial.
It's
Oh, I
in,
put it
you're out
out,
of-
because I had pulled that one out because I had some questions. Okay.
Okay.
4 motions.
4 seconds.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Now I get it.
Now, right, I was going to say.
I was looking for it.
Next
Oh, there it
is
is.
the financial reports for June, school department, high school student activities, middle school student activities, cafeteria, and the daycare.
My question on revolving is that athletic revolving went to 0?
It did.
Can you-
I think that's the first time I've
I
seen
know.
that drop to
I
0.
know.
We
I
ex-
did notice that when I was
Yeah.
reading through it.
Yeah, we expended it, it's okay, we have
Oh,
coming back
I
in.
just-
Jane's still
I
breathing,
haven't
so we
seen
can
zeros
too.
on these.
Yeah.
I know.
Mr. Graziano is just fine.
Okay.
He's old, though.
Yeah, he's old, yeah.
He's getting very
Gentlemen.
old.
Yeah, yeah,
What, do you have to buy a new golf cart?
yeah.
No, we made year-end, we've worked very closely on a very nice resolution to our training situation,
Yeah.
where we're outsourcing, we're using peak management to come in and be the training facility. It's, the athletic revolving account will go right back up.
I bet it will, yeah.
With some more receipts. But
Okay.
year-end was year-end, and we took money where we took money from to
Listen,
pay everything
It's
else.
better to be 0 than negative.
That's right.
We haven't had negatives in a long time. Motion to accept, even though it says 0.
Second.
All those in favor? I wanted to just comment about the cafeteria and Adele. I saw her a couple of times throughout the summer at various places, and one time she told me they were serving 300 kids daily on their
Yeah.
lunches
Yeah.
at the, I think it was
Over the weekend.
4
Over the
places,
Yeah,
right?
Phenomenal.
Yeah, that blew my mind, I think.
They did an
300
amazing job.
kids, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
And Adele
kudos
is
to-
truly dedicated to the kids too, beyond her, just the food. The
Right.
quality of the food is exceptional, but she's really dedicated to the kids.
You like
She
it.
is.
She's having fun with it.
Absolutely.
right. It's
I
in her
mean,
identity.
and it
Makes
shows.
fun.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
the days of
She likes kids, yeah.
the days of the questionable thin steak sub are gone.
The questionable
you got
meat
steak?
product.
Yeah.
You got steak?
Well, they alleged that
Well, they
it was
said
thin
it really
steak
stayed.
sub,
She knows who needs it,
but yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And
and
she's-
she gets it to them.
Right.
Yep.
It's in her heart, and I
Yep.
think it
And
shows,
that's
and
key.
we get to be
Yeah.
appreciative of that. So kudos to her and her team, her ladies. And I put my money in my kids' account for their lunch, so
Okay,
we're
that-
good, and the Maroney children will be fed.
But that brings me to a point. What is going on with the app? Why is there a waiver for you to use the app, you have to agree to waive your right for any future lawsuits against that company? Are they in the middle of a class action suit?
I
The
didn't have
one
to
that
agree.
does because it was all over online. I got it when I
Oh,
went
you
to do
did?
it,
I
too.
just
great
did mine
question.
Saturday or
So
Sunday.
I wrote a
Yeah.
check today, and I know I always use the app, so, but what it was saying was if you, by accepting our terms,
Yeah.
you hereby waive your future right and any past right for any sort of class action suit or anything like that. Now, I
Interesting.
know it's,
We'll find out.
you
It's
know,
on the meal account.
yes,
It's
Yeah.
solely
in
on
the
meal
app.
account. Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
it just the account?
have
or
the
is it the-
First I've heard of it.
yeah,
Sure.
okay.
Me
Yeah,
too.
don't-
I
no,
did
I-
mine this
I
weekend and
will-
didn't get
I
it.
don't-
Hold on,
don't
I
see
will, I meant to screenshot it and I did not, but I
do
can
that.
find it for you in about 2 seconds.
Mine's
Yeah,
on
you
auto.
do
Because it
you
was-
do it later.
What?
Mine's
Yours is on
renew.
auto?
I have an account because I eat in the cafeteria.
Jane, you,
Lunch 1 and lunch 3.
Oh, okay.
She takes lunch 2 off.
And and that's coffee break.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
See if I can find it because it's all over.
like I said, I just did mine this weekend to make sure that they were in.
That's a good question, though, Mr. Groff.
Right.
Yeah, no,
I
I-
didn't
Find
see
out.
it.
I meant to screenshot it when it happened, and I didn't because I was away.
Yeah.
But then there was like a bunch of people with it on the Fellowship of the Miserable that is
And it
on
was from
Facebook.
Chartwell's?
It's not, it's the app. It's,
The app, the payment app.
Okay.
Do.
Yeah, just look it up.
Yeah,
We'll find out.
Yeah.
My School Box is
My
the
School
app.
Box.
My
Yeah.
school bucks.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want us to keep going while you search?
Yeah, keep going,
Okay.
I'll find it. Oh,
Sorry.
I got it right here.
Okay.
We have updated the My School Bucks Terms of Service effective July 31st, 2019. Before using My School Bucks, you should review the terms as they contain important changes affecting your legal rights, including an arbitration agreement and class action waiver that is retroactive and applies to all past, present, and future claims, including pending lawsuits and punitive class actions. By clicking Accept, you agree to the new My School Bucks Terms of Service. If you do not agree with the new Terms of Service, please do not use My School Bucks.
Okay,
So that,
we can do that.
I see that kind of makes me go,
Yeah,
Right.
what happened?
Right, yeah, we'll
Right.
find
So-
out.
I'll find out.
sounds like we did.
And I meant to text you about that, last weekend before school starts, you know how that goes.
He was trying to do his summer reading. All right, so we had 5 motions. We're going to go on to old business.
Do we have
Did you have a
time?
vote?
No, we didn't vote.
Did you get a
motion?
vote?
I thought I
5
did.
seconds.
5 seconds. All those in favor?
Yeah, we did have, oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you, sorry.
Yeah. Just too much.
That's okay, better to do it
Squirrel.
twice than not do it at all. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, completed fundraisers. Eston Pack had their walkathon. They earned $2,356.49. They also had their Scholastic Book Fair. They earned $7,132.79.
Did very well.
They did very well. That's a lot of books.
Yeah.
Very good.
And those are in scholastic dollars.
That's right.
It was really double that.
Right, they go to other things
Yeah.
besides, right. And new business is
Yeah.
the appointment of Dr. Cron to the 2019-2020 Board of Directors for North River Collaborative.
Motion to appoint Dr. Cron to the Board of Directors of North
Second.
River.
All those in favor? Aye.
How do you feel now that you've done this for
Now
a
that we
couple of
made you.
years?
I'm actually chairing the committee this year.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay,
Does it
well, I
say
feel
that?
better
It's
about
gonna
that
be-
then.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
Yep.
That was a continual worry for me.
Yeah.
The new director over there, whose name is escaping me at the moment, is doing an exceptional job, so
I'm glad to hear.
feeling good. Sorry? Stephen Donovan, I apologize, Stephen. I couldn't.
We'll get you later.
Dr.
Right.
Donovan is doing a terrific job.
You're involved in all the financials and
Yep,
everything?
yep,
Okay.
yep.
And the next item is the appointment of Dr. Manigula to 2019-2020 North River Collaborative Advisory Committee.
Motion to appoint Dr.
Second.
Biglia.
All those in favor? Aye. And then this is a lot. Request for approval of the fundraisers. Are we ready?
Look out,
This is like Dr. Cronzy Val that I had to finish last time.
look out,
There's 15
Rockland.
of them, if you want to.
You ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Boys soccer for snap raise. Class of 2022 T-shirt sales. Class of 2023 T-shirt sales. Stephen Sangster Scholarship Fund Trivia Night.
That's good.
Class of 2023 coffee cake sales. The Eston School PAC has their charity volleyball game, the walkathon, ice cream social, McDonald's night, special someone dance, movie night, book fair, name the circle, Meadow Farms, and script gift cards.
12?
All those, or any motions? Are we,
12 motions?
Second?
did we say 12? Did we say that? 12
I
motions?
count 15.
15,
Oh.
15 motions
Yeah.
Okay.
to accept the fundraiser.
All right, so that's
15 motions, 15 seconds. All those in favor?
Roger
Aye.
that.
Okay. And then personnel information, Dr. Cron?
Yeah,
Oh, Paul, that's all right.
I'd like to highlight two retirements. First, Diane Mahoney, paraprofessional retirement from Rockland High School, and Jane Ellis, who was my secretary for 4 years, was secretary for Principal Sangster for 25 plus years, and before that for Scott McKinley.
Yeah, it goes way back.
She's an extraordinary human being. She will be missed.
I hope the office runs
And-
without her.
Yes, so we're very, very sad to see her retiring, but she'll be retiring January, February, March. She'll be retiring in March of this year.
Oh, she's a wonderful person.
She is a wonderful person, and she will be missed. And also thank you to all of the other people and personnel who have left us. And obviously we did a lot of hiring over the summer, so they're all here too. But I just wanted to highlight those two.
I feel like we did a lot of shifting around this summer. It was fun to go on Tuesday last week to the breakfast to meet sort of
I
all the
missed
new
that,
faces, and 6 Bulldog graduates
Yeah.
we hired this year. So that is a Bulldog. Here we are, Bulldogs, so
There you go.
proud.
Yes,
And that's all you have for that?
that's all I have.
All right. On to our public service announcements. Ms. Harrison, ladies
Okay.
first.
I would just like to congratulate the PAC for a successful event last Thursday. I also want to say thank you to everybody that was involved in the daycare move that was back and forth, and it sounds like everybody's settled back into the daycare at McKinley School. And welcome back to school.
Mr. Mills?
All right, mine goes with a story. It actually goes.
There's a story.
The story. The story goes, and one of them I saw when I was reading through this, I came across this, and it has to do with personnel information. It has to do with, I'm going to embarrass her, Danielle Oliver. Okay. Janine was a very key supporter in doing building. She became very much involved, and I can remember the day that we were having a meeting, and we actually had the meeting in the cafeteria of the old middle school. And if you look, Danielle has, again, a little mark on her face. She slipped on some water there and hit her face on one of the benches. And you saw that. So, you know, so that was one of the indications that we needed to do something. So then Janine says, I said, the building's old, but it doesn't look that bad. Another compliment to the custodian staff, even back then, you know. And so he said, I'll take you for a tour. And I took her husband, and Danielle, little Danielle, at that point, for a tour. And one of the places we did stop was where those sump pumps were. And the ocean was flowing through there, okay, literally. And I can remember, you know, walking up the stairs, and I remember standing at the top of the long staircase at the middle school, and Janine said to me, you know, holding Danielle's hand, what do we do now? I said, you got to get involved. And she did. So
She
I
said
appreciate it.
what-
And now, she's a teacher.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Yep.
Full circle.
Yep.
Pretty neat. Very exciting.
Yeah, that's my story. I
That's-
still remember that.
It's funny how things are vivid when you
Oh,
stop to
yeah.
think.
Yeah, so, that was my story.
That's your story.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm glad I did.
Mr. Phelps?
Somewhat of a repetition of what Dr. Cron said, but over the last week, it's a week that I particularly enjoy. It starts out with welcoming of the new teachers. They all look like students to me, but that's okay. They're all so anxious to get started. It's refreshing and invigorating to see that. And then, of course, the next day we go to the full meeting of all the staff, support staff, everyone is there. And again, to see the energy that's there, to see the mix of people from the very young to the very old, like Mr. Graziano. But it's just refreshing to see all of that, and then to get the email this morning about everything going smooth, and really no surprise. Everyone expects that, but kudos to you, Dr. Cron, because you're a huge reason for that, as is all your administrative staff. And it goes down to your teachers, it goes down to your custodians, and I might mention the custodians. I went to every single building, always meet with the custodians, including maintenance. I mean, it's marvelous what they do, including, as I said earlier, the lipstick on the pigs, the two pigs that we have. They really do above and beyond, and I say that from experience because I've been in other school systems that no longer exist as far as buildings because they weren't properly maintained. Good example, this high school. I don't mind mentioning Whitman, Hanson, Abington, Hanover. Those buildings were all built around the same time as this original school, and they've all been done away with, and new schools, totally new schools, have built at considerable more money than we spent to renovate this beautiful building. It's just been, it's invigorating for me. I think that I'm so proud to be a member of this school board, and to see what the townspeople of Rockland continue to support. It's a wonderful thing. That's all I want to say.
Thank you. I agree with everything you said. Mr. Garofalo?
Yeah, I would like to echo what everybody's saying, obviously, about a great first day of school. Everything seemed to go well and smooth. I'm still stuck on our buildings, the two, Jefferson and Memorial Park specifically, just because of how, bad they are. The maintenance staff and the custodial staff does everything they can and then some to try and keep them up, running, operational, and safe. But they're up against a shoveling tide, and hopefully as a town we'll pull together on that. The PAC for the new school project, that event Thursday night, I was truly amazed by how many people I saw there. I was happy by how many people that were faculty and staff were there. I was happy to see people who don't have kids in the system anymore there, or don't have kids there, or were, a grandparent there. I know my parents who live in town were going to be there, but they had to go to New York for a baby shower. That, to me, seeing that makes me feel happy. It's a good sign. This town needs it, not just the schools, but the entire town needs it. We've done a great job. And the only other thing I want to say is hats off to the daycare for moving out of a building to a new building, back
back
to
in.
their old building, and still killing it with what they're doing business-wise. So I think, that's a perfect example of when a town wants and needs something, they get together and it happens. So I think we need to apply that to the new school. So, let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. You have all said it all. But I think that this goes back to this town is the little town that could. From greeting the new teachers, to greeting the older teachers, to having the older teachers helping the new teachers. I know teachers have been shifted from third grade to second grade and whatnot, and they had to rework their curriculums and what they taught, and they did it. It's just that they care. They care about our kids, we care about the kids, and it shows, like Dr. Cron, leading the pack and leading us all through, and here we are, all standing here together, and all excited for what this year has to bring. Whether it bring a new school, we hope so, but that's exciting, like they're all saying, in itself too. The little town that could, there's Bulldog Pride, it runs deep. We bleed blue in this town, and I do think it's showing. I think the kids are excited, and the staff is excited, and I'm blessed to be part of all of you. So, thank you for having me. Thank you.
Just a comment
Yeah.
on that. I went down and picked up my grandkids, my two grandkids at Memorial Park. Oh, boy, I didn't see any sad faces at all. They all had a great day down there. They all,
Right.
and my grandson is.
Tomorrow's a new day.
Tomorrow's a different day, but we're 179 to go.
I know, at pickup, the kids coming out of the middle school, I have to say pickup at the middle school is always a bit crazy on the first day, the first few weeks, until everyone sort of gets the motion of the cars and all of that, that's a given. But the kids came out like joyous, joyful, coming out, and I think
Celebrate.
that's celebrating. Of course, they were out, but they could have looked terrible.
And you look back and you say, I mean, here's a little bit of difference. One, they were all anxious to go to school this morning. I only saw one kid that was having a little trouble. That's okay. That's all right. But coming out of school, everything else, and don't forget, some other districts aren't even.
They're not even
they're
started.
not even started. And our students are back in school and ready to go and working at it already. And it's still nice out. And that's a pull.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate what you guys done.
Teachers did a great job.
They really did.
They did. It's showing, I can see, from this side and the family side, it shows. It definitely shows. Anyone else have anything else? No, with all that?
That's
Right.
my discussion for the whole year.
You're done.
Motion
Motion to adjourn?
Second that.
All those in favor? Have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you.